Alright, I think that's been long enough. We're doing another episode of Bold Banter Bonanza! Hello, my effervescent friends, and welcome to another episode of Bold Banter Bonanza, where I read your controversial opinions on My Little Pony. Across the past 7 episodes, you guys have left over 17,000 comments. And I have spent hours combing through them to find the absolute spiciest takes to make fun of. Respectfully discuss with the utmost politeness. Starlight Glimmer was an excellent addition to the cast. Her character gave the main 6 someone new to work with and progressed Twilight's character arc from student to teacher. You know, before the terrible young 6 took that role. It's also nice to have someone who genuinely struggles with friendship and wants to improve, even if her backstory is, well, uninspired to say the least. You know, despite her massive fan base, I've actually heard a lot of people say that they don't like Starlight Glimmer. And people have a lot of very valid reasons as to why they don't like Starlight Glimmer. From her overpowered nature being on the same level as like Alicorns, to her villain origin story literally being, my childhood friend moved away so now I am evil. Yeah, I get why people don't like Starlight Glimmer, but that being said, I do agree with this comment. She is an excellent addition to the cast, and it's because there is a whole lot going for her. Her personality is excellent. Her character struggles and flaws are excellent. And I've touched on this before as to why I actually kind of like the young 6, despite you saying that they're terrible. But the main 6 were running out of character flaws to overcome, and so introducing a new character with her own flaws lets us not only get more lessons from her, but also, like you said, it allows for Twilight's character arc to continue going from student to teacher. And for that same reason, I like the young 6. Plus, you know, Starlight is just so much fun. I can't hate her. I prefer the voices of Sunny, Izzy, and Pip from the show more than the movie. Ooh! Yeah, you don't see many people with that stance. Personally, I do prefer the voices from the movie, but it's largely a matter of taste as to which you prefer. But I do think that the movie voice actors were just able to carry a lot more subtle emotions in the way they spoke. And to me, they also sounded a lot more real, and overall, just their tone and the way they sound. Yeah, I definitely do prefer the voice actors for the movie, and I'm talking about the voice actors for like all of the main 5. Though I will say, after they completely changed Hitch's character and personality for the show, I do think that his new voice actor actually fits his new personality better than James Marsden did. Basically, Movie Hitch was strong, authoritative, confident, and a little bit full of himself. The kind of guy you could see having a hot guy calendar of himself. Meanwhile, Make Your Mark Hitch is, a pusillanimous pansy. My controversial opinion, Season 9 is my favorite season. No, hold on. Hitch does demonstrate some courage in the show, so pusillanimous doesn't quite fit. Let's see. Aha! Impuissant! Hitch is impuissant! Okay, sorry, continuing on. Season 9 is my favorite season. I know most people despise it, but I personally loved it. You know what? I agree that it was a good season. Now, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's my favorite, nowhere near it, but I do think that it gets a little bit more hate than it deserves. And that's because most of the hate I do think is justified. There are real problems with Season 9, but in the process of looking at all those problems, people tend to overlook all the really good stuff about Season 9 and all of the good episodes. Like Sparkle 7 was a really fun episode. Frenemies is a fun episode with a fantastic song. We get to see Luna and Celestia go on vacation together. That's fun! So yeah, I can definitely see why somebody would choose this as their favorite. And you know what? In a world where so many people hate Season 9, I think it's important to remind everybody that it's okay to have these differing opinions, and we really shouldn't get too worked up about them. Like, people can have legit reasons for why they may or may not enjoy something. And also, Gravity Falls is overrated. Hot take! The CMC should have gotten different cutie marks. They all had their talents explicitly shown in the talent show episode, but then they missed the chance by swapping. Apple Bloom was a really good builder, Sweetie Belle was a really good singer, and Scootaloo could ride a scooter really well and do cool tricks. Don't get me wrong, I do still like the arc that they undergo, and it has a really good lesson, but if they didn't show their obvious natural talents at the beginning of the arc, I think I would have liked it a lot more. Yeah, you know what? I get this. However, I do still actually really like the direction that they took with the CMC's cutie marks. And I kind of look at this whole situation from a different angle. You see, if they did actually end up giving the CMC cutie marks that corresponded to the talents that you are referring to, then we would know well in advance, long before the CMC did, what their talents are. And this would do two things. One, it would spoil their eventual arcs where they realize what their special talent is, and no one would really get all that excited. But two, it would make their cutie marks incredibly obvious. And because it would be so obvious, everyone watching would go, seriously? You're only just now figuring this out? We knew this back in like season 1! What do you mean you didn't know your special talent was riding a scooter? Your name is literally Scootaloo! And on top of that, I think that the idea of them having the special talent of helping other ponies with their cutie marks is just so much more meaningful and so much more fulfilling than I can scooter really well. Plus, I think that this particular special talent makes it a lot harder for us, the audience, to realize what their special talent is. Because when they mention, hey, you know, we've been helping a lot of ponies, haven't we? That's the moment where we, the audience, go, oh yeah, I guess they did do that, didn't they? And we can piece together what their special talent is at the same time that they do. Like, in all of the fan art and fan theories that I've ever seen with what their special talents might be, I have never seen anybody suggest that it would be this. And I think that's really cool that the writers were able to come up with something that no one else was suggesting, but still fit incredibly well with their characters and allowed them to all get their cutie marks at the same time. And despite the fact that all these cutie marks are still almost the same, they each keep a small element of their own personalities within them, with Apple Bloom having an apple, Sweetie Belle having a musical note, and Scootaloo having a lightning bolt. But again, looking at it from a different angle, it does kind of feel like we were told that their cutie marks were gonna be one thing, and then we got something different, which can feel a little bit like a rug pull. But personally, I think that the direction they took with their cutie marks was the best route that they could have gone, and honestly, I think that they are the most well thought out cutie marks in the entire show. Like, this one for the writers, I think really was a matter of, we need to get this one right, or else the fandom is going to be furious with us. But that's just my opinion. Thank you so much for the comment. Controversial opinion, Queen Chrysalis wasn't evil. It was stated that she cared about her subjects and made sure to provide food for them as much as she could. Plus, it was never stated that the changelings could reform and give love instead of taking it. So she just did what she could to ensure the well-being of her hive. She was deemed evil because she infiltrated Canterlot and infested it with her subjects. But to her subjects, she was very much kind and caring. Sure, she could have asked ponies politely to share their love and teach her subjects not to outright steal it, but carefully take it instead. But let's be real, where have we ever seen a person with high power like that ask another person with high power nicely for something? You know, I've actually been hearing this one a lot recently. Like legit, I have been hearing so many people saying that Queen Chrysalis's actions were justified, or at the very least, not inherently evil. And like this comment says, everything she was doing was for her hive. But I strongly disagree with this. Now, I think it's accurate to say that Queen Chrysalis's actions are understandable, but I don't think I can go as far as to say that she's not evil for quite a long list of reasons. Like, yes, she wanted food for her subjects, but more than anything, it seemed like she wanted food for herself. She even talks about her subjects going out and gathering love and then bringing that love to her so that she can feed.
My drones will be able to store all the love meant for them and return it here, to me.
But it goes further than that. For changelings, the more love they consume, the more powerful they become. And that is one of the core reasons I can consider Chrysalis to be a villain. More than anything, she wants power and control over others.
Every pony will do as I command. I decide what is best for my subjects, not some mewling grub.
When all the changelings learn that they can just share love amongst one another, she is offered a chance to change her ways and lead the changelings in a manner that would allow both her and her subjects to never go hungry again. But yet, she refuses, because accepting this proposal means two things. One is that she will need to admit defeat, which is not ideal when you want to demonstrate that you have power and control over others. And two, stealing love was how she exacted control over others. To give that up means to surrender her power. And in fact, she's already lost most of her power due to Starlight taking it away from her and having her subjects reform. And so in this moment, her motive changes from I want total power and control to I want revenge on Starlight. And when she's laying siege to Canterlot, mind-controlling ponies, stealing their love, kidnapping them, all for the sake of power and control, and when it's all taken away, she chooses to spend the rest of her life dwelling in revenge? I'm sorry, none of that is justified and none of that is good. In fact, all of that is evil. However, I will say, it is very understandable. And those are often some of the best villains that you can get. The ones who are very clearly evil, and their motives are also very clearly evil, but you understand them. Someone who we can feel where they're coming from, but still see that they are very clearly in the wrong, so that when we experience similar situations in our lives, we know not to make the same choice that they did. And Starlight here is a fantastic parallel to Chrysalis. She wanted power and control over others, and when that was taken away from her, she focused her entire life on revenge. But she eventually turned herself around, whereas Chrysalis did not. And why did Starlight need to turn herself around? Well, it's because she was evil. So all of this to say, no, I do not believe that Chrysalis was ever not a villain. She was always evil from the first time we see her on screen to the very last frame. But it is a very interesting discussion. Thank you so much for the comment. Now, before we go any further, I know that there are a lot of people out there who have been leaving their comments on my videos for a while, hoping to get picked. And like I said earlier, I have to go through a lot of comments to find the best ones for videos. But what exactly makes for a best comment for a video? Is there some kind of special sauce or a specific type of comment that is preferred? Well, yes, actually. There are a few things that you can do to increase the odds of your comment getting selected for a Bold Banter Bonanza. And I know you want to have the best chance possible at being selected. Which is why I am happy to present to you Star Strike's Guide to Getting Your Comments Selected. Number 1, shorter comments are better. I try to fit a lot of people's comments into my videos, and long comments make that hard to do. There are the occasional exceptions, but for the most part, I tend to avoid the long comments. Number 2, limit yourself to 1 opinion per comment. If you've got a long list of opinions, that's fine, but putting them all in the same comment leads to the same problem as my first point. I just can't go over each individual one, and for me to pick only one of them is just a little bit awkward, because then when I put the comment up on screen, there's a bunch of unrelated info, and if I pick like opinion 4 out of 7, then I'm just reading from the middle of the comment. It's harder for people to follow along with. Yeah, I think you get the point. If you do, however, have a list of opinions, that's perfectly fine. Just put them all in their own individual comments. If you have 10 opinions, I legit don't mind if you comment 10 times. But on that note, no spam, please. If you keep spamming the same comment over and over again, just hoping that one of them will land, I am in fact less likely to include you at that point. Number 4, non-repeating comments. If your comment is something that's already been in a previous episode of Bold Banter Bonanza, I am very unlikely to include it. Now, I realize this one's a little bit harder because I don't expect everybody to have seen every single previous episode of Bold Banter Bonanza, so repeats are bound to happen. But if you know that the opinion has already appeared in a previous Bold Banter Bonanza, rest assured that one's not making it in. Number 5, I just realized that this guide is actually a lot of don'ts and not many do's explaining what you can do to actually get your comments noticed. So, do leave unpopular opinions. Well, I suppose that's also a don't leave popular opinions, but, you know what? I really hope that this guide encourages people to comment instead of discouraging them. Number 6, becoming a channel member or leaving a super thanks in the comments is not going to guarantee that I pick your comment. Does it make me more likely to see the comment? Well, yes, absolutely. But it does not guarantee that I will pick the comment. I mostly pick comments based on whether I think it's an interesting discussion or, honestly, if it's just something I can make a funny joke out of. Also, I don't want people to give me money expecting to buy their way onto Bold Banter Bonanza. If you're gonna help support me financially, I want you to do it because you like the content. Okay, I think that's everything. On to the final comment! Unpopular opinion. Spike should not have been the hero in the Crystal Empire. Cadence was the one who actually saved the heart. Spike tripped and dropped it. Yes, 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 yes. I do not understand why, for some reason, the citizens of the Crystal Empire see Spike as the hero. He held the heart for like 2 seconds, fell over, got caught by Cadence, nearly actually fumbled and would have given it to Sombra if it weren't for her. Twilight was the one who actually found it. And yet, Spike is for some reason the hero? Like, I do not know. I do not understand it, but you know, it at least makes for some fun future episodes. Oh, and also, thanks for the $5. And thank you so much for watching. If you have any of your own controversial opinions, go ahead and use your newfound knowledge on how to get them selected and drop them in the comments section. And I just may get to them in the next episode. And if you want to see the other episodes of Bold Banter Bonanza, the playlist for them is right over here. And a huge thank you to my channel members, especially these names, right on the other over here.